Hello classmates, hello Prof A. I hope everyone is okay today. Let's start. Today may I take you to an adventure towards the Philippines logistics industry, where our partners raised their concerns on the burden to sustain manpower services and relate it to our human resource development class. Just a friendly reminder that the initial findings were conducted together with our partner agencies. However, all recommendations are based solely on the opinion of the author and is based on the lessons and discussions of PM 221. To start, this presentation is entitled Chuper Hero, a training program course for the drivers in the logistics industry. Presented to you by yours truly. Thank you. As a brief introduction, the Department of Trade and Industry Competitiveness Bureau on December 6, 2018 conducted its first Logistics Services Philippines Conference and Exhibition where our logistics associations, composed of freight forwarders, truckers, multimodal companies, the shipping lines, the custom brokers, the customs bonded warehousing, and even the academe signed the 10 commitments towards creating 7.5 million jobs and achieve a 5% employment by 2022. The 10th commitment expressly says that the logistics associations, including the government sector involved, shall develop a competitive and future-ready logistics workforce that will address the current and future needs of the logistics services sector. We will invest in the development of programs and policies that will allow those working in the sector to effectively fulfill their responsibilities to customers and stakeholders alike. We shall develop our people to be an indispensable tool for businesses both here and around the world. We shall also take the opportunity to increase awareness of the logistics service sector's role in economic development. On April 3, 2019, we consulted our partners with TESDA regarding that matter. Fortunately, TESDA is currently undertaking their NTESDP, or the National Technical Education and Skills Development Plan for 2018 to 2022 in partnership with Bayan Academy and the JP Morgan Chase. 8 major priority industries were identified by the plan, and these include the following: tourism, construction, ICT, agriculture, manufacturing, electronics, transport, storage and communication, and health and services. With this, we can highlight the transport, storage, and communication. And that's it. That's our concept. A technical working group was created to identify a project that could help the logistics industry. Relating it with our class, let us first remember the report provided by my team, the HRD process. To recall, there are 4 steps: the needs assessment phase, design phase, the implementation phase, and the evaluation phase. For the needs assessment phase, we identified who should be the people behind the TWG. So, to enumerate, these were the team: the government, which includes TESDA and DTI, the consultant, Bayan Academy, the sponsor, JP Morgan Chase, and the receiver. These are our logistics associations, as well as the others, those people representing the logistics industry. These include transportation of people, of goods, and both with the use of transport applications. Example of these: the bus drivers, taxi drivers, bus companies, forklift operators, warehouse personnel, truck drivers, and people involved in third-party logistics, the couriers and distributors, and the TNVS team like Grab and Transportify. Schedules of the needs assessment. We conducted the TWG meetings on the months of April, May, June, and July, and had a concluding ceremony for the particular industry on October. On February this year, TESDA invited the DTI and the participating TWG to the closing ceremony of the consultation phase. The TWG identified that the major priority of the industry is the need for drivers. This is because most drivers no longer are motivated to work in their current situation. Some worked abroad for greener pastures. Some worked in TNVS for convenience, and some shifted to the BPO industry. Therefore, in this phase, the recommendations are the following. First, how should we glamorize the industry to attract more drivers? Second, most drivers tend to lack proper knowledge, skills, and attitude. Third, there is a need to study defensive driving, which shall be included in the TESDA's training regulation for drivers. Next, the design phase. This is composed of objective, lesson plan, develop or acquire materials, select trainer or leader, select methods and techniques, and schedule the program or intervention. For the developing objective, the question is, how should we glamorize the logistics industry to attract more drivers? Let's proceed to identifying our courses of action. There are two plans, one for the new hires and one for the old ones or those people who stayed in the company. For the new plan, there needs to be done a promotional or advocacies which involves school activities and mass job fairs. Also, logistics associations can be provided with an incentive every manpower they could endorse. For the old plan, there should be a refresher course for every driver to reconnect to the basic information and knowledge of driving, which could help remember the basic KSA of driving. A higher pay shall be given to senior drivers, and that incentives are waiting for drivers who were able to improve their skills and expertise. For the development or acquisition of materials, we identified the use of simulators, just like what Singapore did to their trainings. Good thing Air 21 shared their experience, and we were able to know that Air 21 is the only company offering such with their employees. And during the TWG, people from Air 21 said they are willing to help by offering such materials for the future trainings. TESDA, Bayan Academy, and Phoenix Petroleum Company will be the trainers and the leaders for this training program. During the concluding ceremony last February, Bayan Academy approached DTI to endorse them to people from Air 21. The plan was, Phoenix Company, through Bayan Academy, shall connect the use of simulators to its training program called Chuper Hero. Bayan Academy and Phoenix Company have been conceptualizing such, which awards outstanding drivers, recognizing model drivers who are able to show concrete evidences of how driving was able to create a difference in their lives. Next, the following shall be the methods and techniques to be done during the training. Instructor-led classroom program, games or use of simulations, job-based performance support for every travel they did, use of case studies to practice KSA, role-playing to know KSA as well as the rules of the road, problem-solving and or decision-making, customer education, ethics, and safety. For the scheduling of the program, the following are to be done. For the Plan New, first advocacies. TESDA should forward their online training programs to different K-12 schools, especially in this time of pandemic. Second, online postings. The TWG should coordinate with third-party service providers in the online job hunting. Third, job fairs. Once this pandemic comes to an end, the TWG shall be facilitating the conduct of a mass job fair to different LGUs nationwide. And lastly, incentives. There shall be an internal competition among the logistics associations through a sub-project with the consultant in order to attract more manpower. For the plan old, let's first have online platforms. OFWs who are stranded can freely scroll on trainings of TESDA online, do some technical and cognitive ability tests to refresh their memories. Second, refresher course. While drivers are considered as one of the frontliners during this time of pandemic, the most convenient time for them to study and train themselves is to schedule them once per week to be conducted by their HR and operations head. Drivers shall also get an extra allowance aside from their basic salary for each workforce they get to recruit. Lastly, drivers shall have incentives once he tops the training amongst all enrollees. Let us now move to the implementation phase. All methods and techniques provided in the design phase shall be implemented accordingly. However, the implementation of such trainings shall mostly be complied once the pandemic is gone, except rather for the trainings online, which can be closely coordinated with TESDA. Depending on the rise of the COVID-19 cases, the most priority is the safety of the people. For the last process, we shall be using Kirkpatrick's 4 levels method and Krieger, Ford, and Salas classification scheme following the use of simulators as well as the other techniques identified in the design phase. Number 1. Kirkpatrick's 4 levels. It is the most popular and influential framework for training evaluation, where Kirkpatrick argues that training efforts can be evaluated according to 4 criteria: reactions, learning, job behavior, and results. In the use of the simulators, evaluators can identify who among the drivers know the basic concepts of driving. Each evaluator will have a convenient way of looking at the reaction of the driver, how they feel about the program, its learning, to what extent did the driver improve its knowledge and skills and change attitudes as a result of the program, its behavior, to what extent did the driver change their behavior when doing the actual job as a result of the program, and to identify the results, how does the organization benefits the program. Number 2. Krieger, Ford, and Salas classification scheme. This method is specific, identifying the type of measures that can be used for learning outcomes in each category. Categories are based on 3: cognitive, skill-based, and affective. This scheme shall evaluate the 3 categories of learning objectives: knowledge, skills, and attitudes of the drivers. Under the cognitive category, drivers will learn declarative, mental, and self-insight metacognitive skills. They will differentiate between a proposition and facts, concepts and relationships, and regulation and allocation of resources. In the skill-based category, they shall learn composition procedures and automatic processing tuning. Lastly, under the affective category, drivers will learn targeted object, safety awareness, attitude strength, motivational disposition, self-efficacy, and goal setting. Under the scheme, drivers must be able to easily identify road signs and basic concepts of driving. They should immediately respond to vehicular checkups and or damages. And lastly, they should be able to set in themselves that being a driver is a moral job and is a worthy of profession. Concluding forum. A graduation rites ceremony shall be conducted during the 3rd Logistics Services Philippines Conference, attended by approximately 500 to 750 people composed of public and private stakeholders, logistics associations, and other affiliations, as well as the media. This will boost the potential of the drivers as well as to attract more people to join. Participating drivers shall be awarded for their completion of the training program. They shall be called the heroes of the highway and eventually be able to standardize that being a driver is not just any ordinary job, but an extraordinary profession everyone will be so proud of. Let's now go to steps moving forward. The hiring. With the participating drivers able to improve their knowledge and abilities and were able to graduate towards the training program, all of them shall be able to grab a spot in the field of logistics industry. All logistics associations shall be designated with each driver trained depending on the number of enrollees to the training program. All hired personnel shall undergo job orientation and be provided with the benefits they all deserve: company uniforms, salary, and stability of tenure, among others. Just like the construction industry, drivers shall be required to properly use their company uniforms. Strict implementation of ground rules shall apply. This shall be to follow the standardization and to further obtain the objective of this study, which is to glamorize the industry. Further, each driver shall undergo refresher courses simultaneous to the job offered. That's all. Thank you. For any questions and concerns, kindly comment below. Stay safe, everyone!